Do you remember what 36 felt like? I do. And I was still making some of those same mistakes I had been my entire life because I hadn't figured it out yet. I finally have at 52, but I hadn't at 36. I don't think I ever really started trusting my intuition till I was about 45. And that's one of the things that I keep thinking about with Hayden Panettiere. I really hope I get that name right, but I will probably screw that last name up a few million times, honestly. I mean, I'm curious, aren't you? Welcome to Sassy Chanelle. Hayden was 36 years old. 36. We have this strange way of looking at somebody's life after they die and kind of seeing it like a completed story. But at 36, it's far from a completed story. You're still figuring it out, still making those mistakes. Shit, I'm 52 and I've made a lot of them and still continue to do it. Some I get better at, some things I do learn from, but I'm still making those mistakes. But not relationship mistakes. I think I have figured that out, but it took me till 45 to do it. You know, we're all still learning, but at 36, it's like you're just getting started. You're learning which people belong in your life and which people don't. I'm actually really good at cutting them out. Take pride in that. So that's what I've been thinking about as I listen to Hayden tell her life story in a memoir. Because while everybody else is listening to how Hayden died, I'm listening to Hayden tell me how she lived. And those are two very, very different things. This is me. Before Hayden died, she published a book, a memoir. This is me. I started listening to that book because I wanted to know the person behind the headlines. And this is not a book review. I haven't even finished the book. I am 6 hours into an 8-hour book, and I can't wait to finish. I have ADD, so I am constantly drifting when I listen to audiobooks. That's why you don't really see many book reviews on this page, because I don't have the focus to listen. My mind wanders. But my mind has not been wandering. I have listened to this book and it is damn good. But again, this is not a book review. We'll get to that. I couldn't make it a book review because there's just too many things to cover. She just passed away. So I wanted to be able to cover that along with other things. It's just too much to unpack. There are pieces of Hayden's story that I believe are very relevant to maybe what created her passing. And I think they matter. So I'm going to get into those things. One of the things that really kind of struck me was how soon she got into Hollywood. She was a baby model. So basically, 8 months? She was already in Hollywood. 8 months. Hayden didn't become famous as an adult. It was go. Here you go. She basically grew up working. I didn't have my first job till I was like 17. When was yours? She was doing commercials before she was even 1 year old. And she started truly acting at 4. So while we were all wondering what sticker we wanted to put on our notebook, she was learning how to perform. She learned how to cry on cue. I want you to think about that. She learned as a child, if she wanted to cry on cue, she had to think of something tragic. Tragic. She had to picture tragedy. She had to create that pain inside her so she could produce tears. And the adults around her would praise her for it. Accolade after accolade. Oh my God, look at the talent you have, Hayden. So somewhere in that little girl's developing brain, you've got these things becoming connected. Pain, performance, praise. The 3 Ps. And when she talks about it in the book, she makes that connection herself. I don't think most of us that aren't in Hollywood can understand what that can do to a person. And of course, that doesn't explain everything that happens to a person later in life. But I think it's noteworthy. I think it's important because Hayden wasn't just learning how to act. She was learning as a girl, as a little girl, to reach inside herself, pull out pain on command, and then be rewarded for it. Sit with that for a second. Later, she went on to voice Dot from It's a Bug's Life. I didn't know anything about her at the time. And then came Remember the Titans. Now, I'm a football girl. I love my Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, yeah, I'm a Dallas girl. I love a good football movie, inspiring story. This one was a true story too, which definitely caught my attention because I also love documentaries and true-to-life stories. So this part of the book actually made me smile because I think it brought her a lot of happiness. She talks about Cheryl Yost, her character in the movie, with so much joy and affection. She felt incredibly connected to that character. And she did say if she could go back in time to one of her characters, that would be a time that she goes back to. When somebody dies like Hayden did, it's so easy for people to put the darkness into her life. Like she never had any joy or happiness. But I think it's important we talk about the fact that she did. Her life wasn't only dark. There were things she loved. There were things she was extremely proud of. She was funny. She was an optimist. She describes herself as an optimist to the core. And I can relate to that because so am I. I've come to learn it can be a strength and a weakness. But I'm a forever stubborn optimist. And I'm proud of it, just like she was. And one thing that I'd like to note, and I think everybody knows this about Hayden, is she loved animals. And when I say she loved them, I don't mean she posted dog pics on Instagram. I mean, she was an advocate for them. I remember Hayden and the dolphins. And again, I never followed Hayden's career. I don't know if I mentioned that. Maybe I thought it. I never really followed her career. So this is the first time I'm truly diving in. But I remember Hayden and the dolphins. Back in 2007, Hayden was only 18 years old, the same age as my son, as a matter of fact. Hayden went to Japan, where dolphins and pilot whales were being slaughtered. And this girl got on a surfboard with other activists and paddled her way into the middle of this chaos. The water was filled with blood. She was trying to put herself between these animals and the people killing them, but she couldn't save them. And when she came out of the water, she was sobbing, and the camera caught all of it. And that is what went viral across social media. The crazy girl putting herself in the water with dolphins. Look how emotional she is. And I remember thinking the exact opposite. And I thought, what an absolutely beautiful human. She cared. And she just watched these animals be slaughtered in front of her. And it mattered. Deeply mattered. Maybe we should take some cues from her. And actually, weeks before she died, she was still doing it. She filmed herself inside this tiny bathtub to demonstrate what captivity looks like for dolphin and whales. PETA released it after she died. Think about the continuity here. 18-year-old Hayden was fighting for dolphins, and 36-year-old Hayden was still fighting for dolphins. And that part survived. Her core, all the way through, her love of animals. And maybe that enormous capacity to care is what made the world harder for her. She was an empath. And although she had incredible strength to do that, but it also made her incredibly vulnerable to those people taking advantage of that empathy, especially in Hollywood. So when you start to combine growing up in Hollywood, being trained to trust adults, being rewarded for performing and bringing up tragedy, being an optimist and an empath, and I think you start to understand some of the contradictions within Hayden. She was incredibly brave, but she couldn't protect herself. And then came heroes. There were some things that Hayden describes that have me extremely upset. Like, this was pivotal. She had just taken off, truly taken off. And we see some of the things that happened to her in that time frame that I think will make you upset too. One of them sounds insignificant maybe at the time, but so truly relevant now. Someone on her team gave her a pill to take before she went out on interviews on the red carpet. It was called the happy pill. Take this, you'll feel good, you'll feel happy, you'll do great. And you know, she didn't even ask what that pill was. Like, not like, hey, what is this? Nothing. She just took it. And I bet you can imagine that she did like how it made her feel. She was happy. So when events came around where she had to be happy, she would ask for that pill. But really think about that. Someone she trusted told her to do something and she just did it, right? Kind of stems from that training she got from 8 months old. Go stand over there. Go bring up tragedy. Go cry. Do this on command. Take a pill. Okay. Would you just take it? Probably not. Why would you? I think we are innately trained to not trust everyone. And what the hell are you giving me? That may kind of give you some insight into her. I think that's important. It also tells you how much she trusted the environment around her and the people around her. And everyone's asking, wait, how did this happen? She was just so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and beautiful and happy and the face of Neutrogena. How does that happen to her? And I'm not saying that one pill or multiple created the addiction, but I'm not saying it didn't. Another truly tragic, horrific story from that time frame in her book details a friend. She calls her a best friend. Now, she did change all the names in the book, most of the names in the book, to protect people, which I don't know why. I'm telling you right now, I'm naming names, period. But I get it. It could affect other people's lives. And she's really here only talking about her life. You know, I had somebody come up to me, a friend of mine, and she's writing a book. And she said, I struggle with the parts that are about other people and their influence on what happened to me. And I said, that's your story. You tell it. They created that scenario and they weren't thinking of you. Why are you thinking of them? It's your story. They're part of it. You tell it. But this story comes back to trust, right? It's her best friend. One of her best friends. She thought she was looking out for her. Till she kept hearing this common phrase come out of her mouth. Trust me. And whenever somebody has to tell you, trust me, repeatedly, you should probably not. Just my opinion. So this friend takes Hayden on a yacht. And I think we've all heard about yachting and what it means in Hollywood. It's a lot of sex. It's a lot of boosting your career. It's a lot, actually. So she took Hayden on a yacht. She brought her downstairs to I think he was 35 or 36-year-old star. You don't get a name, but a lot of people online have been trying to figure out who this person is. I'm not going to say who they think it is because that's not my place, right? Do your own digging, time frame, look it up, make your own conclusion. But this was a famous star laying in a bed naked. She was told to get into the bed. And again, Hayden did what she was told, right? At training. And the friend said, okay, I'm going to leave you guys alone. She went upstairs and Hayden was like, oh, the fuck you are. I'm out of here. So she ended up getting off the yacht, not doing anything inappropriate, but it really opened her eyes to her environment and the people around her. I'm glad nothing bad happened to her at that time. But she did have to acknowledge that she'd been betrayed. That brings me to her mother. You know, Hayden didn't decide at 4 years old that she was going to become this famous actress. No, that was decided for her by her mother, who was also an actress from a soap opera. So it was in her blood. Her mother, Leslie Vogel, put her into modeling when she was still a baby. She signed her with Wilhelmina. Now, growing up, I remember that name, Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina Models, Wilhelmina. I wanted to be a model so bad. I just didn't have what it takes to do that. I mean, I was cute, but I wasn't like gorgeous. Hayden shot her first commercial before her first birthday. And at 5, she was on One Life to Live. And her mother wasn't just her mother at that point. She became her manager. You've heard the term momager that Kris Jenner uses. Same thing. Now, to be fair, her mother has said she did not adamantly denied it, as a matter of fact. She said she was strong and she guided her. She used the word pushed, actually. She pushed her, but denies any abuse in that scenario. And even Hayden's description of her mother doesn't come out and say that. She wasn't abused by her mom. She was confused by her mom. There's a difference between a child saying, Mommy, I want to be an actress, and being placed in acting before you can even speak. I mean, truly, at what point does Hayden the person and Hayden the actress begin and end? I don't know. I don't think she knew. By the time Hayden was an adult, her relationship with her mother became extremely complicated. and then eventually estranged. Her mother came out and criticized it, and Hayden responded publicly. I saw the clip where she talks about leaving the door cracked open for her mom, because who doesn't want a relationship with their mother? It looked like a little piece of her still hoped that they could mend their relationship. That makes me sad. And then Hayden died. And then after Hayden's death, her mother publicly put out a statement where she says Hayden's gone down the wrong path. It didn't seem very loving. I don't think she said, I love my daughter in the statement. It just seems very disconnected and far away. Gayle King heard these comments and criticized her publicly. And Gayle got backlash for that too. And then Hayden's mother called it shameful. Now, I do want to comment on this. Everybody mourns in a different way. And I think that's one of the things that people get wrong. They assume they know what somebody else is going through, or how you should act, or what you should do, what you should say. There isn't a rule book for mourning. And I don't think it's fair that we act like we know. Also, if you look at, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but I want to use it as an example. If you look at AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and different stories that come to substance abuse, you will see that you have to distance yourself from your child or you become an enabler. It is one of the hardest things that you see people ever have to go through. And I'm not saying that's what she went through, but maybe she tried to get her away from the bad people. Maybe she tried to guide her after that. Maybe she just couldn't watch her daughter suffer or go down that path. And so she had to emotionally disconnect. I'm just offering a possible other side to this whole statement. And that's the first thing I thought of when I read it. I didn't want to criticize her. What the hell? What do you mean? You didn't even say you loved her. I don't know. But that's the point, right? None of us do. And also, a mother-daughter relationship doesn't suddenly become uncomplicated because somebody died. Those layers are still there. Grief doesn't erase history, and history doesn't mean that there wasn't love, because Hayden wouldn't have left the door open a crack if there wasn't. Both things can exist. We're never going to know. And that brings me to a bigger question. What does Hollywood do to a child that's grown up inside of it? Because Hayden isn't the first child star that's life's become complicated. I mean, I could name a handful, actually a double handful. First thing I think of is Corey Haim. He was my childhood idol. I had his picture on a poster on my wall. We all know the road that he went down, the drug abuse. It seems like Hollywood chews them up and spits them out, right? They are a paycheck. They represent money, not humans. Not humans. These children are earning money and taking care of their families. They become the breadwinners. It's backwards. Parents are supposed to take care of their kids, but in these scenarios, the kids are taking care of their parents, which creates the first layer of complication. And they're also being told at a very young age, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, you're not happy enough. Smile, even though inside you just lost your guinea pig. And they're also learning that millions of people have an opinion about them. And in Hayden's case, it started way before she could even comprehend what was happening. When a child grows up around an industry built around their performance, around any performance, when do they actually get to figure out who they are inside of that? Cameras are always watching. Hayden becomes a mother herself and gets a chance to evaluate that complicated relationship from a different perspective. Her daughter, Kaya, was born in December 2014. After Kaya was born, Hayden developed postpartum depression. And in September 2015, she went on live with Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan, and she talked about it publicly. She wanted women to understand that postpartum could take many forms. Although she says her plan was not to go on there and talk about it. It just came out because she was being honest. But she did say something important in that interview. Women need to know that they're not alone. And normally this is where we would all cheer her on. Good for Hayden, man. She went out there, she made a statement, she let other women know that they're not alone. That's what we do, right? As activists or people in the public. right? You want to connect with people. You want to let them know that they're seen. She did that. But unfortunately, in 2015, we weren't talking about women's mental health. That should have been applauded. But unfortunately, she had another job with Neutrogena. Hayden had been the face of Neutrogena for about a decade. Think about that. 10 years with the same company. I know I've done that. I was with my last company for 10 years. It's a family. You learn who people are. That's your home away from home, your coworkers. It wasn't some 6-month Instagram relationship. And this was a formative part of her life. There was this morality clause inside the Neutrogena contract. And Hayden was extremely aware of it. It actually kept her in line, gave her those safeguards. Don't be caught out drunk in public. Don't do anything that could get you removed from your contract. She was very, very aware of it. She knew what the brand expected from her. She just couldn't do anything embarrassing for the brand. But then Hayden talked about postpartum depression on Kelly and Michael. And according to Hayden, after that, Neutrogena ended their relationship under the morality clause. Her representative pushed back and said, that's illegal. You cannot fire a woman because she has postpartum depression. Hayden made it through the rest of her contract obligation, but her contract was never renewed. That was it. And the part that really hurt her the most, after 10 years of working with all these people from Neutrogena, Hayden said she didn't even hear a goodbye. Nothing. It's like she didn't even exist. No goodbye. No thank you for 10 years. I even got a party for my 10 years when I left. Nothing. She said it broke her heart. And I want to sit with that for a second. Because what was Hayden's big moral breakdown here? Where was the violation? She told the truth about women's health. I'm struggling. Other women struggle too. We need support. And the company that she chose to support for 10 years didn't support her. And the brand felt it was unsafe for them. And that is way bigger than Neutrogena, because that's how women's health has been treated in this country forever. We tell women, talk about postpartum depression, ask for help, don't suffer silently. And then when a woman actually does it, there are consequences for it, which brings up another case that I'm going to be talking about. Lindsay Clancy. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm not going to go into it here, but it directly impacts what we're talking about with Neutrogena. So with Neutrogena, more than 10 years later, Hayden talked about what happened in her book. She talked about it while promoting her book. She talked about how much losing their relationship hurt her. And people started resurfacing what she said. There was backlash. I actually posted about it myself. Never will I use that brand again. Ever. But guess what did happen? After Hayden's death, the company acknowledged that it had made Hayden feel unsupported during an incredibly difficult time. They said that's not who they wanted to be. They praised her for speaking openly about what affected her. And now they're going to invest in organizations helping women, including women suffering from postpartum depression. And listen, I'm all for that, right? That's what we want. That's what Hayden would have wanted. But there's something profoundly sad about the timing, because Hayden can't hear it. She can't hear them acknowledge how they made her feel. And I think there's a lesson in all of this. If somebody deserves an apology, give it to them when they're alive. If somebody deserves support, give it to them while they're struggling. If somebody's hurting, don't wait till they've died to say you wish you would have helped them. And then there's her daughter, Kayla. Kayla is 11 years old. During a period when Hayden was seriously struggling, Kayla went to live with her father. And people can look at that and judge her, because everyone's really quick to judge mothers. If you keep your child in a chaotic environment, they say, how can you do that to your child? But if you recognize that chaos and want to give your child something better, people say, how can you give up your child? So what exactly is a mother to do? The custody situation was painful for her, and she talks about that in her book. It was devastating, but she understood her daughter needed stability. And I just think, wow, what a gift that she gave her daughter. A gift that was never given to her. Stability. She loved her daughter. She talks about missing her daughter in a divorce situation. Keeping it copacetic is not always easy. She managed the relationship with her daughter through FaceTime. And maybe love doesn't always look like the way we expect it to look. Sometimes loving your child means protecting them. And I think that requires a lot of strength and selflessness. So this is the area that I'm going to leave the memoir to the side because I haven't finished the remainder of the book. I think now we have enough to understand the human that Hayden was. So now we can kind of get into August 16th, 2026. Hayden didn't become a struggling 36-year-old actress. There was a lifetime before that day. But on August 16th, Hayden was in Greenville, South Carolina. Emergency services were called to the residence because of an unresponsive woman in cardiac arrest. Hayden was found unresponsive. First responders attempted to save her life, but were unable to. And the story gets messy from here because Brian Hickerson was there. I haven't even mentioned him yet. If you follow Hayden's life at all, you've heard his name. Brian was Hayden's on and off again boyfriend. And there is documented history of domestic abuse between him and Hayden, including criminal convictions. Convictions just 3 days before Hayden died. Brian was in court trying to get 2, not 1, but 2 of his domestic violence convictions cleared, and the request was denied. 3 days later, Hayden would be dead. And I just want this to be very, very clear. I understand the timeline, but I'm also not saying that he had anything to do with her death. We don't know, and I'm not going to speculate. The facts will come out. Authorities have said that they found no signs of trauma and no indications of foul play. But this is just a preliminary investigation. As I'm recording this, nobody's been charged. Those are the facts that we have right now, but Hayden's life and timeline are also facts. Brian's brother, Zach, is also an important character in this whole scene because he became part of the story. And there have been headlines with Zach, Brian's brother, holding hands with Hayden in public. So outlets out there have tried to turn this whole thing into a love triangle. But those pictures are years old, and the reports say that they were just friends. So until somebody produces evidence that they were more than friends, we're going to assume they were friends. That's because they were all together. And also, there's enough here that's actually real. According to Zach's account, he became concerned when he couldn't reach Brian or Hayden. He went to the residence and woke Brian up. They discovered Hayden unconscious together. Zach said he called 911, and he said Brian administered Narcan, and the brothers performed CPR until emergency responders arrived. Now, obviously, the word Narcan, which I've used in other episodes when I'm talking about a drug overdose, is a buzzword, right? It immediately gets everyone's attention. Narcan is used when an opiate overdose is suspected. Does not prove that Hayden died of an overdose. There was also dispatch traffic referring to a possible overdose and cardiac arrest. Possible. Not confirmed. Not confirmed. Possible. The official cause of death has not yet been released. Toxicology is pending. TMZ has also reported that the DEA is assisting in this investigation alongside the Greenville Police and the coroner's office. The DEA itself has not publicly confirmed that information. So does that mean drugs killed Hayden? No. Does Narcan mean drugs killed Hayden? No. It just means there are questions. A lot of them. This story is fluid. We are learning new things every single day. And more information will come out, and we will learn what happened. And when I come to do the book review for Hayden, this is me, I will tell you the latest information that we have as of that moment. But I think the saddest part for me, I mean, it's all sad, right? It's all sad. Hayden was supposed to turn 37 on August 21st. It's kind of similar to my mom. She died on June 5th, but her birthday was June 7th. So she was just about to turn 45. And also learning that Hayden was taking a trip for her birthday to see her daughter in Europe makes it even worse. Vladimir, her ex, posted a tribute on what would have been her 37th birthday, saying that Instead of celebrating her birthday, he would be celebrating her life. And with that, all the headlines disappear. She was a person who had people that loved her and who she had loved. No toxicology report, the DEA, Brian, Zach, Narcan, none of that matters because there is an 11-year-old little girl without a mother. That's the tragedy. With everything I've learned about Hayden, I learned that somebody was just human trying to figure it out in a world that they were pushed into. Somebody who trusted people that she shouldn't have always trusted. Somebody who kept trying to grow within this. And somebody that was making plans. She was working through her pain. She was working through everything that she had gone through, which is something that we all are trying to do. Some figure it out earlier than others. She never got that chance because when somebody dies young, we look at their life in reverse to try to find all the signs that were there. We connect all the bad things that have happened to them along the way and go, that's why. That's the reason that they died. But life doesn't work that way. None of it means that Hayden's death was inevitable. None of it. It just proves she was trying to heal and learn and grow. Hayden was more than the thing that killed her. She was everything that happened before. And she was still becoming who she eventually hoped to be. Listening to Hayden tell her own story made me really like the person that I was listening to. Made me see her beyond the headlines. So I'm going to finish the book, and then I'm going to sit with it for a little while. And I'm going to come back and do a full review of This Is Me by Hayden Panettiere. But today I just wanted to learn about the woman behind the headlines, the human. And I think I understand her a little bit more than when I started. Anyway, that's my perspective.